through security. Everything went smoothly. This is on Haneda. They have the national terminal, which is not really popular at this time in the morning, as you can see. I'm the only person waiting for this flight right now. So basically it's going to be 5 people, or at least it's supposed to be 5 people on this monitor tour. I found this through a Facebook group done by a travel company. It's called Heartland Japan. And basically they wanted some people to kind of come along on this journey and explore, well, Aso, and kind of also give their opinion as to how it is for foreigners. Yeah, it's a roughly 1.5 hour flight down to Kumamoto, and then we have already packed an itinerary. We are starting at 8:30 with a drive to Mount Aso, which is, by the way, an active volcano. So unfortunately right now it's very active, so we cannot actually go up to the volcano. We can still do like some hiking around it. They also have like a geothermal museum there, which is also pretty interesting. Well, we're gonna do like a big hike, which is really exciting. Unfortunately it's gonna rain, but it might snow actually, which would be cool. And yeah, after that we are going to stay in an onsen / Ryokan, which is really cool. If you want to see our onsen Ryokan video that we did the other day, you can watch it up here or here, whichever it is. And yeah, that's basically it for day 1. And on day 2 we're all gonna do a lot of different cultural activities like Japanese. We're gonna do some sword craftsmanship. We're gonna do a tea ceremony, like a drum experience. I only read it on the itinerary, but yeah, sounds all very interesting. And then the flight back is gonna be tomorrow in the evening, so pretty packed 48 hours roughly. But yeah, should be a lot of fun. So, as you can see, it's snowing pretty badly, unfortunately. So that means we cannot actually go up to the museum, which we were originally planned. And instead we are going right now to Aso Shrine, which was supposed to be a stop tomorrow. And also the hiking is also moved to tomorrow, because tomorrow it's apparently not really that snowy anymore. So yeah, it's gonna be all tomorrow. So today we are just changing the plans a little bit, going to the museum, going to the shrine, I mean, and then doing like a small hike, doing like all the cultural activities, I mean, today. And right now we are at this kind of viewpoint, or it's supposed to be a viewpoint, but you cannot actually see jack shit. But so far it's been a pretty interesting tour. We got a lot of different facts about Aso. Probably tell you a little bit those later once we are in the hotel. But yeah, otherwise pretty interesting. It's really nice that it snows, because this is the first time that we actually had proper snow since we arrived in Japan. And I love snow, so this is really, really nice. Snoop, snoop, snoop. Sound of snow. Really, really nice. So yeah, we're just gonna stop here a couple more minutes, and then it's off to meet actually 2 more participants of this tour and also visit Aso Shrine.
This is latitude scale 8.2. People will come and stay.
世界中にたくさんあります。Yes, my house is located at the
Shelters. In case of emergency. about twice.
創出は欧米からの観光客増加を狙い阿蘇市が取り組んでいて、京都はモニターツアーが
聞いてください、悪い。
大体みんなそうしたと思う。 so that's a wrap for our Aso trip. Thanks again for Heartland Japan and also for the Aso or like Kumamoto, I guess local government for bringing us out there. It was a lot of fun, despite our plans having to, well, change a little bit. So I just wanted to kind of do a quick recap because I didn't have a lot of time to do like normal style vlogging because it was a very busy schedule. We started off by wanting to go to the museum at the top of the volcano, but unfortunately since the roads were so snowed in and iced, our taxi or like our driver wasn't able to go up there because he didn't have like winter tires. So instead we went to Aso Shrine. Aso Shrine is one of the most important shrines in Japan, I believe, and it was unfortunately very heavily damaged during the Kumamoto earthquake back in 2016. Generally a lot of places in the Aso area are still kind of recovering more or less from the damages of that earthquake, but especially the shrine, like the main gate just completely collapsed. That's the unfortunate part, but the fortunate part is that behind the main gate like 3 little shrine houses, or like that house 3 different gods, I believe. That actually is now visible because the main gate just collapsed. Normally you wouldn't be able to see like the shrine houses from the front, but yeah, we were lucky in a sense to be able to see that because of the, well, main gate collapsing. So we went to a place called Ekinomichi, which is kind of this roadside stop, or it used to be in the old town. In the old time, maybe like 50-60 years ago, it was like a roadside stop where people could get information around traveling with a car, but they could also get some food. Nowadays it's mostly just selling local, like kind of local dishes. The special, or like the local specialty in Aso is akagyu, which is beef, but it is a cow type that came from Switzerland, and therefore kind of the beef has very low fat content. So if you know the typical Japanese wagyu, which has a lot of like this typical marbling, akagyu doesn't have that at all, so it's very red meat. Red means aka. That's why it's kind of a lean style meat, but it's very delicious. I had like a bento that had this type of beef in it. That's very good. And the other thing is takana, which is I'm not exactly sure what it is. It's kind of like a plant, but they pickle it and then they season it with some kind of seasoning, maybe sesame or soy sauce or anything. I bought some home as a souvenir and it's very good. Yeah, I had it on rice. Would recommend. But we also had a TV crew running around with us, which was pretty cool for the first day. They were producing like a TV segment for Kumamoto TV. It ended up only being like a 1-minute segment. Yeah, I've shown parts of it in the video. But yeah, they were just kind of filming us around, and they also interviewed 2 of us. Unfortunately not me, because my face isn't really photogenic enough to be on television. Afterwards we went to a place that's called Meihodo. Meihodo is kind of this traditional Japanese martial / arts center where they showcase to tourists like a lot of different like kind of Japanese traditional arts, including like a sword fighting experience. I was very bad at it. I would kind of try to cut down like a roll of tatami mats, but I wasn't able to do it. But to be honest, within our group nobody was able to do that, so only the CEO of Heartland, very good, he was able to cut it down. We also saw a karate demonstration, and they also had like a tea ceremony, which was fun because it was my first tea ceremony in Japan. It's something that you often do in Kyoto or even in Tokyo, but I just kind of never bothered going there myself. But yeah, it was a fun experience. You basically just get tea, you kind of have to hold it in a special way and rotate it. I don't think I fucked up, but I think I made a few small mistakes, and you also get like some sweet snacks with it. And then the last stop was like this huge taiko drum. The one that they had was like the biggest inside of Japan, which also means it's kind of the biggest in the world. Logical consequence, which was quite surprising because it was just like kind of in their backyard. Like they had this forest and they had like a big house in there, and then just opened the door and there was like this huge taiko drum in there, like a diameter of 5 meters or something. And it was huge and it was loud. Like the first time he beat on it, like my ears, I could hear my ears like popping to explore Aso nightlife, which surprisingly was really good. Like they had like this one alley that was kind of like Golden Guy in Tokyo, if you know what I mean. It's like small izakayas and pubs, but it was very lively. Night got a little bit late and maybe a little bit too much of the devil's liquor, but we got up early next morning and had breakfast, and then we finally headed up to the mountain because the weather cleared more or less. It wasn't raining, or it wasn't snowing anymore at least, and yeah, it was a beautiful sunset. We had like these horses parked on the side of the road and some cows. Took some pictures, took some videos, very cool. And then we made it up to Aso Museum, So now the main reason of this tour was to explore the possibility of going down to one of the craters of Mount Aso, which is an active volcano, as I mentioned. How that would be. Unfortunately, the volcano is very active, as I said, so you are not quite actually able to go down to the crater. Instead, what we did like an alternative hike up to like one of the mountains around Mount Aso. It was very cloudy, but sometimes the clouds broke through and you got a little great view, like all of Mount Aso, the volcano, and also like down to the caldera. But afterwards we went back to the museum and we had kind of like a security, kind of what it would be like if we actually tried going down to the fourth crater. So we had to wear like gas masks, helmet, we got like an safety instruction. Mount Aso was very beautiful because it was covered in snow, so that was kind of something special because you don't really have that much snow over there in winter, I believe, so that was really cool to see it all in snow covered. Very unique experience, very happy that it actually snowed and not just rain, because that would have been dreadful, but with snow, beautiful. And then our last stop I didn't film, that was at the local Aso government, where we kind of gave our opinion on every part of the trip, like the shrine visit, how the food was, the traditional Japanese experience, and also the hiking and like the fourth crater tour. Because that was the main goal, to kind of give the opinion of foreigners as to how the hiking or how the overall tour would be to foreigners, if it's worth the money, if there's something that should be changed in our opinion, if there is something that should be kept the same way and stuff like that. And that was it for our Aso tour. Overall, really recommended to go to Aso. There's a lot of different seasons for it, like in spring they have a lot of flowers, so all of the mountain is going to be covered in like, I forgot what kind of flower it is, but it looked really beautiful in pictures. In summer I think you have like, well, obviously it's warm, but you also have the grass. It's a grassland mountain, so you have all of the beautiful grassland with the backdrop of the volcano. Also really beautiful. And in winter, obviously, if you can get lucky, you get a lot of snow. So I think Mount Aso has a lot of things for different seasons. I would recommend it mostly if you are into nature, because there's obviously mountain hiking. There's also some waterfalls down in the caldera. There's also a decent amount of onsen. And yeah, if you want to go to Aso, probably the easiest way to get there is with a national flight or a domestic flight from Tokyo to Kumamoto. And from Kumamoto it's roughly maybe an hour ride by bus from the airport to get to Mount Aso. Yeah, that was it for the vlog. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to know anything about Aso, please ask me down below. I will try to answer as much as I can. It was my second time there, but I'm definitely gonna be back for a third time. And yeah, as always, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.